Alright, it's the last day of July. We're about to paint that. I'm going to do my garden tour. We'll start in here because we have been working on the beloved church pew that has been sanded, primed, caulked, and now it's going to get one more coat of primer before we paint it. I love our little homestead. Watch this. I've got our goats trained like dogs just about. Hi goats, come on! Come on! Ooh, they're so cute. It never gets old. Look at them. Come on, guys. I don't have any food or anything. Alright, this is a bee update. This is the comb that they were initially building, and they are building more. I can tell they have grown this a little bit. This is just quite a smorgasbord, and I'm not proud of it. But they're alive, and so is the larva. I had no frames of wax to rubber band onto these. And yet again, look, it's coated in beeswax, and they're not building on it. Look at this bee with the pollen. I just love watching them. Okay, today is August 6th, and excuse my hair, but I'm buying my muscadine vines. Okay, so this is in my backyard. This is like our backyard fence, and it borders our woods, and as you can see, there's vines climbing all the way up the trees. And last year, at the end of spring, we saw ripe muscadines, and what I did is I would just hang over the fence and shake the vines to make the muscadines fall, and then hop the fence and go pick them up from the ground. But over the winter, when this went dormant, I pulled as many vines down as I could, and then I tried to trellis it along our whole fence line, and I did cut them back and prune them before the season started. Oh, on my way, squirrel, passion fruit. I think I'm going to try them today. But I did like prune them big time and cut them back, but look at how like long, oops, camera angles, I can't really see what I'm doing. They just have grown so long. Here's the problem. They really should only be 10, at most 20 feet long. Here's where my parent vine is, like right over here, and I let that go all the way down there. So I think what my mistake was is leaving the main vine way too long. So the plant's energy has been spent in making, I don't know the correct terminology, it's escaping my mind, offshoot vines from the main vine. But if you look up in the trees, and you're totally not going to be able to tell from the camera, I know this, but maybe, I don't know. If you look up here, at least from where I'm standing, I see a lot of muscadines. It's producing more in the trees, even though those vines are super long, and it's because I didn't cut them. They're not compensating for anything. Those are producing a lot more muscadines than these vines down here are, which is a shame. But this year I'm going to bring my dad in, who has planted scuppernons and has pruned his. The issue, if I look anything up on YouTube or ask anyone, it's like, when you plant a muscadine, here's how you prune it. And I'm like, these vines are probably 20 years old. I don't know how to manage 20-year-old vines that are producing and just kind of way bigger than they need to be. So nevertheless, I'm going to try to have somebody help me prune them this year. This side is producing more. Like you can see little green ones here, and there's some here. This side is producing more because it's shorter, and then it didn't get, oh, here's some just like hanging out on the lower ends over here. It didn't get whacked back as much, but I have my first ripe muscadine, and I've been dreaming about the way these things have tasted ever since we got some last year. So I'm going to partake in my first muscadine of the year. I probably will not get many this year. This was kind of a flop. It's not a total fail, it's a learning experience, but I'm going to learn to prune them better, and maybe next year we'll have more, but I'm going to enjoy my first one of this year. It's just so sweet. Okay. A little bit of paint on me later, but all right, it's done-ish. We'll see how it dries. Do you like it, bud? You can see where I've like got brush strokes. So we'll come down here in a little bit and see how the paint pulls together as it dries, but I'm excited. I can't wait to put it out.
No, that sound I hear.
Everybody's picking tomatoes, the little cherry tomatoes off the vine, and eating them while we play. There's our barn kitty. Up there, the goats are grazing. Let's look at the loofah. Okay, so it is August 7th. That first loofah plant just died off because something bit it too close. But look at all these flowers, which will become loofahs. But we've got lots growing as it is. And these guys right here, I've tried to flip the flowers on this side so that when they start growing, they'll grow this way, and deer and goats perhaps won't come and eat them. Really and truly a day in the life. Goats are enjoying what I just trimmed off the hedges. Look at all the loofah, and they're massive. And it just keeps going. I'm outside in my garden in the rain, coming out here to tie up my roses. And I've got the first one of the Crown Princess Margareta, if that's how you pronounce it. And then I can see where I had a generous gardener bloom and then fall really quickly. So here's where it was. And there's the petals on the ground where we missed it, but there's a little caterpillar on it now. So that's fine. Costco roses once again. Just being phenomenal. We'll come over here too. They're leaning quite a bit though. But like we still have just a ton of buds. Okay, so I'm gonna do an August garden tour because things are looking different. But first, the loofahs are looking different in like the best way possible. Passion fruit started to take over. I don't know how I feel about that. Berry bushes, Catherine ate probably what's the last of them off for this season. Do you hear that? Well, that's my kids. You might be able to hear chainsaws. There's tree people here doing a lot of tree work, a lot of which is for the garden. So I couldn't bring myself to rip out the Super Sweet 100s, but I did rip out this jute line right here. And 2 of my cattle panel trellises are gone. I'm working on ripping out the other 2 right now. Let's just have a look at the gourds real quick though. Can we have a look at the gourds? I mean, there's just so many. There's nothing in the vegetable area now. I ripped everything out. And there's no more rabbit fence either. So that's gone. It's all of my cages and rabbit fences piled up right here. And they're gonna cut that back like right now, today. But I have something really exciting to share.
1, 2, 3.
So that's fun. But we're making progress. Flowers. I don't think last month I updated on flowers. Once again, Costco roses are just insane. These guys are cute. I didn't trellis them like a good person would have. It's my fault. I'm gonna probably move this rosemary. I have some basil looking happy. I didn't eat as much nasturtium as I thought I would this year. My gladiolas are starting to peter out, which is okay, but they're still alive and healthy. The biggest thing that I wanted to do is get a before shot. I mean, all of this tree line's gonna get cut back, but we're gonna start mulching this. Okay, it's the end of the day, and look at how It is so much brighter over here. And it looks like good garden space. Look, we can come up. Isn't that nice? Very nice. Only downfall is that I blew some mulch behind the pool house before I had a chance to lay cardboard down. That was my bad, because I should have had it done already. It's looking good.